Ladies, gentlemen, and whoever else is listening to this, welcome to the Wrestling Matters Podcast, episode 35. But before we start the show, again, I mentioned them last week. I'm going to mention them again this week. teespring.com/PURO. Check them out, okay? It's a cool site. They've got t-shirts for days and everything. Just under about 2 weeks left with 4 shirts to go. Check them out. Get on there. The site is like Kickstart for shirts. You pledge to pay, but don't actually get charged unless we reach our goal. And the project is started, only 4 shirts away right now, probably 3 shirts, I don't know. Get on the site, check them out. teespring.com/PURO. Get them on there right now. And if you want more information, ladies and gents, get yourself onto Facebook, Twitter, and check them out at PURO. Wear. That's right. Check them out. All one word, PURO Wear. Get them on there. Check them out. Show support. Get the t-shirts. Get them to their goal. You know it's worth it. Ladies, gentlemen, and whoever else is listening to this, it's me, it's NHEAD. Welcome to episode 35 of the Wrestling Matters Podcast. Today's show's going to be a little bit different today, because coming up on today's show, I'm going to talk Survivor Series. That's right, I'm going to review the Survivor Series, my own interpretation, my own way. I'm going to review Raw, my own interpretation, again, my own way. And I'm also going to give you some Smackdown points as well. What happened this past week on Smackdown. Notice I said WWE in there? No TNA this week. It was a episode of TNA which involved a Thanksgiving show. It was a special Thanksgiving show. And apparently from what I've gathered this week, there's going to be no more TNA until January. Because in January, starting January, they go on Destination America in America, the new network. And there's 4 episodes of TNA left in December on Spike, and that'll be it, and then everything will be back to normal in January. They're all best of shows and Christmas shows and whatever, and TNA this, and I think it's warm-up shows just to build up to going on Destination X, so to speak, and saying goodbye to Spike. So it's going to be a little bit different. I will also talk my views and opinions in the world of professional wrestling. Also, as well, talk about CM Punk. Because, as you've heard this past week, ladies and gents, he was on a podcast called, it was actually called Cabana's Podcast, and finally revealed the answers to the question that we've all been asking for months since he walked away from WWE. Why? And the truth was revealed, and you're going to get my opinion on that and my view on that later on. And also a little warm-up for next week as well, because next week I will be hosting the Wrestling Matters Podcast, as I always do, except I will have 2 guests on. That's right. My guys, my boys, James Powers and Mike Rodriguez will be coming on. Yes! And trust me, when I work with them too, it's always a laugh. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we will get in and we will kick off with the Survivor Series review. Righty then, it's time. I'll go on to my Survivor Series review. Now, I'll do this to the best I can. Before I get to the main pay-per-view a bit, there was a few matches that took place. Well, one match on the kickoff show. Jack Swagger defeated Cesaro in a battle of national pride, and Bad News Barrett returned after a 5-month absence with some bad news as well. No doubt, probably bad news for Mr. Swagger, since it was Swagger that put him on the shelf. But, I mean, what drives me crazy is the fact that what they're doing with Cesaro and Jack Swagger. It's not good. I mean, Cesaro hasn't been the same since. I mean, this guy won the very first Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Now look at the way he's at now. It makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. And Mr. Swagger got the win with the Patriot Lock, tapping Mr. Cesaro out. Now, also, what happened also that night is Vince McMahon comes out at the beginning of the show. Welcomes everybody to Survivor Series. And Stephanie and Triple H decide to play a game called Let's Go and Suck Up. That's what they did. Did it work? No. Because one thing led to another, and then John Cena shows up. An argument, in a way, I wouldn't say it was an argument ensues. Then Vince McMahon drops a bombshell on the Authority. And the bombshell was, if the Authority lose this match at Survivor Series later on, they will lose their power. But there was a catch to it. The only person that would be able to rehire them back, if it was necessary, which I don't see it happening, but the only person that would be hiring them back would be one John Cena. So if they lose, only John Cena could bring them back to power. And I don't think Mr. Cena would be in any rush to do so if that happened. But Stephanie threatens to wipe the smirk off the face. You see, I was done with this Authority thing a while ago. I mean, people always say that, Sunday Segway always say that there's Stephanie this, and this. I was done with this a while ago. I mean, Anarchy, I don't know, but at the end of the day, it was another one for me. Another one of the moments. But way to put fuel to the fire by Vince McMahon. Or way to add more fuel to the fire, I should say. But you know what I mean. Now, I want to start off, but before I go to what was the first match, I just want to bring something up. I want to go straight to and talk about the Nikki Bella Championship match with AJ Lee. Nikki Bella is the women's champion. She beat AJ Lee. And apparently, Brie set AJ up. Because Brie got up on the apron, kissed AJ. AJ turns around, walks right into, I believe it was like Abyss's move, which is Nikki Bella's finishing move, which she uses. I forgot what they call it. I think it's Rack Pack or something. I don't know. But it was a finishing move anyway, and she gets the win. Where have I seen this somewhere before? I'm just trying to wrap my brain. Oh yes. When Daniel Bryan lost the World Championship to Sheamus at a WrestleMania, AJ did exactly the same thing. Now, more bullshit booking, because apparently this was the match that was planned. The finish that was planned for the match. It just proves my point, ladies and gentlemen, of what I've been saying all these years, or what I've been saying a while since doing these podcasts. The Divas Championship is meaningless. No one cares about it. And if they do, they've got a funny way of showing it, No disrespect to Paige and all the other champions, but it's bullshit like this that makes championships mean less. Not that the Divas title meant anything anyway, but the Divas Championship means nothing now after this, in my opinion. Just like the World Championship meant nothing. It seems that the Divas Championship is now on its last legs, and I don't think there's any way of it pulling it out of the gutter, so to speak. But why did they have to go through this match this way? Granted, Brie Bella seems to be back with Vicky, personal assistant bullshit aside, but I don't know. I mean, it is so frustrating why the Divas division can't be as good as I believe it should be. I mean, it just gets on my bloody nerves, it really does. I mean, again, pointless bullshit. WWE booking at its best. Logic. Now, the Tag Team Championship fatal. 3 great teams and the Miz and Mizdow. Now, great tag team match, great way to start the matches on the pay-per-view. But my fear came true, ladies and gentlemen, because what I was fearing came through. Miz and Mizdow are now the World Tag Team Champions. But it seems that the Miz and Mizdow are falling apart, so to speak, at the scene. Miz is getting Damien Sandow to do the dirty work, and then he comes in, tries to steal it, or it's the other way around as well. A game of can you tap this? Now, and this is just my opinion, it seems that Damien Mizdow, Sandow, whatever the heck you want to call him, is over. And it seems that no one gives a shit about the Miz. Now, I don't know where they're going with this. These two as tag team champions is not good, and I'll tell you why. Because they're not a tag team at first. It's Miz and his stunt double. Miz is now carrying around 2 championship belts. The proper championship belts. And the stunt double is carrying 2 championship belts that my niece would probably be proud of if she was 3 years old. or 4 years old. It seems that he's carrying around baby belts, which is bloody ridiculous, okay? And that's what makes them, to me, not a tag team. You've got 3 great tag teams in there. Los Matadores, yes, they're a great tag team, because under them is Primo and Epico. Again, it's just Primo and Epico stuck in a bullshit gimmick. You know, regurgitated Tito Santana is what it is. And you've got Goldust and Stardust, who are gold, no offence, no pun intended. They are WWE gold, especially Stardust even. And you've got the Usos, probably the deserving champions of the last 5 years. And now the WWE tag team division has gone down this path, straight to Miz and Mizdow. It is not good for the tag team division. I don't know if they're building to maybe a Damien Mizdow babyface turn. I hope so, because he needs to break away from the Miz, and quick. And this thing, and I cannot take Damien Sandow seriously when he's hanging around the Miz. Okay, it's a stunt double. Okay, people get behind him. People think what he does is funny, and at times it has been funny. I'll grant you that. It has been funny. But the only way I can take Damien Sandow seriously now is if he breaks away from the Miz, uses this what has become a babyface thing, because he's over with the people, and use it to go back and get on the road, the path of redemption, so to speak, and go down that road to where it made him a great wrestler. Because we all know he's a great wrestler. I think at this point, I don't know if WWE knew what to do with him, so they thought, oh, we'll stick him with the Miz, he could be a stunt double, which is a shame. But I hope WWE figure out what they can do with Sandow and do it quick, because I'm sorry, this tag team with him and the Miz, you know, it's not working for me anymore. I'm sorry, it's not working at all. And I made it clear that I don't like The Miz, because I think The Miz has turned into a Rock wannabe. I mean, bring back the one that used to walk around saying, I'm awesome. Bring him back. I would prefer him, but this Rock gimmick, wannabe Hollywood BS gimmick that he's got does not work for me. I mean, the guy's a former reality star wishing he was Hollywood, and I don't know if the Miz, I don't know if did the Marine, you know, was the Marine a hit? I haven't seen the Marine. Apparently it was. I don't know, but it's not working. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. That's my view on it. I mean, allow Sandow to break away from him, break away from the Miz, and do his own thing. I mean, sooner or later they're going to do that and do it quick. Now, backstage, the Bunny and Adam Rose were, you know, playing around with the toys and everything, and then Slater Gator, which is Titus O'Neil, and Mr. Heath Slater come in, and tag team match, an argument ensued, and the tag team match was built on this pay-per-view. No build-up, no nothing. Oh yeah, we'll just throw a tag team in just to fill time. That's what most of these matches were on the pay-per-view. Time fillers. And Adam Rose and the Bunny ended up winning. But once again, the Bunny steals the spotlight and leaves Adam Rose behind and does his own celebration, the carrying thing, and they're carrying his crew, carrying the Bunny back to the locker room instead of Adam Rose, and Adam Rose is in the ring puzzled, and let's just say Adam Rose felt like a little bit of a lemon. Am I missing something here? I mean, Adam Rose is supposed to be a heel, but he's prancing around as a babyface. WWE needs to sort this bit out. Is he a heel or is he babyface? Because I don't know what the hell this feud is they're building up with him and the Bunny, but it makes no sense. It only makes sense if Adam Rose was a heel, and it seems he's not. And at the moment right now, WWE are the lemons, because I don't even know if they knew what the hell they're doing. But sort it quick. I mean, I'm not the biggest Adam Rose fan, I'll grant that, but good, Bennett. Again, WWE booking at its blatant best. Right. Fandango also made his in-ring return, pay-per-view debut, whatever, and he beat Justin Gabriel on the thing. I think it was one of them, again, I felt a time filler match, if you will. And Fandango hit the leg drop on Justin Gabriel for the win. I'll talk more about Fandango later on during the Raw review. I'll go in depth about Fandango during the Raw review, because he's had a change in attitude, change in gimmick, and a change in woman too. But like I say, I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Right, I'll talk about the Divas match now, which was Team Total Divas, I guess you could say. Team Total Divas, Alicia Fox. I guess you could say it was a Total Divas traditional tag team match, which consisted of Alicia Fox, Natalya, Naomi, and Emma, the Pied Piper of Flowing Bubbles, versus Paige, Cameron, Summer Rae, Layla. Also, I mean, this match was bullshit to me, because all 4 members of Team Natalia took out Summer Rae and Layla and Cameron, and left it was basically 4-on-1 with her and Paige. Alicia Fox being in there made no sense to me in a way, but hell, it was what it was. But the way they used Paige that match, this didn't work for me. It was a match. Natalia was the best out of the 4, and the 2 standouts, Natalia and Paige, and Team Natalia ended up winning with a shutout. I don't know about that, but hey, it was what it was. I didn't really think any much of this match. It was just a traditional Divas match, a good match, far better than the Divas title match. They got that going for them, so they weren't the worst match on the card. But it just wasn't. It just didn't captivate my attention, so to speak. The next match was, in my opinion, and I believe my opinion and many others, the show stealer, Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. Now, this match was an epic match. It was a fight. There was some wrestling in it, yes, but it was a physical, knockdown, drag-out fight. That was until Bray Wyatt tried to do what he did to John Cena and tried to bring the evil out of Dean Ambrose, forcing Dean Ambrose to hit him with a chair. Trying to get Dean Ambrose to hit him with a chair. Bray Wyatt didn't think he would. Didn't think, he calls himself the lunatic fringe and that. He didn't think he was that much of a lunatic. Doesn't cater to the fans. He's not the lunatic that he is, and this, that, and the other. And Bray Wyatt could change him. But Dean Ambrose had other ideas and whacked him with a chair. He put him through a table, buried him underneath the table and about 20 odd chairs, went up to the top, brought a ladder in, went up to the top of it, and just symbolized, looking over on his mess, so to speak, the mess that he made with Bray Wyatt on top, underneath it. Like I said, it was an epic match. This match is going to continue because at TLC it is Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt in a TLC match, tables, ladders and chairs, so that basically was the symbol and the fed off to TLC. What will happen there, I don't know, but I would imagine that would probably steal the show. You've got you've got your show stealer right there and then for the TLC pay-per-view. December 14th, I believe. But, epic match for me. Could it have been better? Yes. But it was definitely the match of the night. Now for the moment of the night. Team Cena and Team Authority. That's right. That's not the moment, by the way. Team Cena and Team Authority. Now, I'll go through the list. Probably my favourite part of the match is, at the beginning of it anyway, is when they were trying to psych up Mark Henry. Trying to psych up Mark Henry. You got Stephanie and Triple H on the apron. Triple H is psyching up Mark Henry, this big monster. Mark's getting psyched up. Bum. Turns round, walks right into the KO punch from Big Show. Gets laid out, 1, 2, 3, gone. And I'm not kidding you, Triple H's face was a picture. And Stephanie's was, but Triple H's face was a picture. I think if that had been any other day, he'd have passed out, had a heart attack right there and then. Because the Authority's life flashed before their eyes right there and then. Boom, of that one punch. They weren't expecting that, and they were like, Jesus Christ, we're in trouble. Other than that, it got down all the way in, all the way off there. Everybody was eliminated, and it got down to 3-on-1. It got down to 3-on-2 actually, or was it 3-on-3? Yes, 3-on-3, which involved the Big Show, John Cena, and Dolph Ziggler against, I believe, was Luke Harper, Seth Rollins, and Kane. Now everybody's like paved out in the ring, ready to go at it and everything. And Big Show comes in. You've got Dolph Ziggler coming in. You've got John Cena coming in. And Big Show is ready to go, but then somehow throws his right hand to knock out the knockout hand, and it ends up on John Cena's chin and knocks John Cena out. John Cena was the legal man. He got eliminated. Big Show walked out, the traitor, if you will. Big Show walked out after shaking Triple H's hand, assuming that the momentum was going towards the Authority in that. But as you well know, Big Show paid for that. But anyway, Big Show laid John Cena out and walked away. So it ended up being 3-on-1. And credit to Dolph Ziggler, which is why he's the show-off, which is why he is probably one of the best wrestlers on the roster. Dolph Ziggler beat Luke Harper and beat Kane. He got his due, and credit to him. And then all hell broke loose, because the Authority got involved, the Cruiserweight division got involved, JJ Security, everybody got involved. And then Triple H had enough, came in, put a beat down, after knocking the referee out, by the way, pulling the referee out to break up a Dolph Ziggler cover. Comes in and beats the hell out of Dolph, pedigrees him, takes his shirt off, puts puts Seth Rollins on Dolph, assuming that he's got the victory, waves for another referee. He could have basically just counted the fall himself right there and then, but basically waves the referee out, and who comes out? Scott Armstrong. Runs to the ring. We all know he's in the Authority's pocket. Comes running to the ring. One, and then this crow noise comes off. Boom, boom, boom. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, assuming that I thought it would have been Randy Orton, and despite the fact that Randy Orton was there that night, but he wasn't needed, because who came? 13 years in the making. Holy shit. Sting arrived on the scene, came face to face with Triple H. That was after he laid out Scott Armstrong. They're in the ring, face to face. I would say probably one of the best stare downs I've seen in a while. Triple H has this puzzled look on his face, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Kind of look. And then Sting has, why? What are you going to do with this kind of look? Words were said back and forth. Triple H takes the first shot. Sting ducks, kicks him in the gut, and then proceeds to drop Triple H with a Scorpion Death Drop. Gets up, switches over, puts Dolph Ziggler on top of Rollins, and then leaves. Ref counts 1, 2, 3. Team Cena wins, and the Authority is gone. That's right, the Authority is gone. And Survivor Series ended with everybody singing the na 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 hey goodbye to Triple H and Stephanie. And Stephanie seriously lost the plot. She went psycho until Triple H had to calm it down. And in my opinion, they got what deserved. Think of what Stephanie did to Vicky. She forced Vicky out and that, and in my opinion, the Authority got what it deserved. I don't care if people like Stephanie, this, that, and the other. Out with the anarchy, out with the bullshit, in with the new. And like I said at the beginning of the pay-per-view, Cena is the only one who could bring the Authority back to power. But Sting proved to be the difference maker. 13 years in the making, finally steps into a WWE ring and becomes the Authority killer. My rating for this, was this a good pay-per-view? Yes. Could it have been better promoted and produced and put together? Yes. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, and the Sting thing made me give this a 7 out of 10. That alone. And like I said, what's next for Sting? I don't know. But like I said on Facebook and that, just when you think WWE is going down the shitter, so to speak, going down the toilet, they pull this card out. And then it starts getting interesting again. Because seriously, things have just got interesting in the world of WWE. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick time out. We'll shot on a few promo and that. And after all this, I'll be back with a Raw review. So stay tuned.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shubs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segway Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel www.youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters for weekly episodes of the Wrestling Matters podcast and other wrestling related content as well. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast, episode 35, and now it's time for the Raw review. Now, Raw kicked off with Triple H and Stephanie saying their goodbyes, but in a way trying to make excuses for what happened at Survivor Series, in my opinion. Triple H coming out saying, without them, the WWE would be nothing, this will be nothing, that will be nothing, blah, blah, blah. It's just the same old excuses when they can't realize they're lost. As they're about to leave, Daniel Bryan's music hits, and out comes Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan comes down to ringside and goes, yes, 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 in their faces. I mean, nobody could have enjoyed that more than Daniel Bryan, considering what the Authority did to him. B+ player? I don't think so. Seems the Authority now are E+ talent. But, yeah, he came out, and he told the WWE Universe, Daniel Bryan, that tonight on Raw, he was in charge. That's right, they put Daniel Bryan in charge of Raw. And Daniel Bryan proceeded to call out every member of Team Authority and proceeded to book them in matches. Believe you me, that set the tone for the evening. Backstage, as Triple H and Stephanie were leaving, Vince McMahon popped out of the limo and gave his authority, the team authority, Stephanie and Triple H, a right good old bolligan, and said the only thing that he'd be sorry for is he has to spend Thanksgiving with Triple H and Stephanie, Vince McMahon, that is. God, I wish I was a fly on the wall to be in that house on Thanksgiving. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, Daniel Bryan settles business with Team Authority. He booked United States Champion Rusev and said he would face an ultimatum or placed in an every-man battle royal for the United States Championship. He placed Luke Harper in a match with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship and allowed Ryback, at the big guy's request, to get a bit of sweet revenge at the hands of Mark Henry, considering what happened 2 years ago at WrestleMania. And Kane went from being the director of operations to the director of food and beverages. Oh boy. And he also placed Seth Rollins in a 3-on-2 handicap match against Dolph Ziggler and John Cena, and allowed the WWE Universe to pick Seth Rollins' partners, which consisted of A, being Mark Henry and Luke Harper, B, being Mark Henry and Kane, or C, being the Cruiserweight division at J&J Security, Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury. I think it was pretty safe to say everybody knew what was going to happen, except one person, JB Gobshite at ringside. JBL. Moving on to Mark Henry and Ryback, a rematch from 2 years ago's WrestleMania, and a chance for Ryback to get some sweet revenge, which he did, because he absolutely dominated Mark Henry from opening bell. The Human Wrecking Ball ultimately made short work of the world's strongest man with a spine buster, immediate clothesline, followed by, I believe he hit with the Shell Shock. I don't know, but in either way, Ryback got the dupe and a small measure of revenge. Now, a pretty predictable match, Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship, which ended on a disqualification because, despite the fact this was a good match, for what it was, Dean Ambrose ends up on the outside and Bray Wyatt comes out of nowhere and clotheslines him from behind and proceeds to do exactly what Dean Ambrose did to Bray Wyatt at Survivor Series. Except this time, throws him into the announce table and proceeds to bury Dean Ambrose under the by throwing the announce table on top of Dean Ambrose, as well as about 10 chairs. Kind of sets up the tone for what's going to happen at TLC. Should be very interesting. The tag team champions face Goldust and Stardust, not Gold and Stardust. I'm getting sick of saying that, but anyway, it's Goldust and Stardust. At one point in the match, this was a good match. This was just basically Goldust and Stardust revoking their rematch clause. At one point, it looked like they may do just that and win the tag team titles back. But the Awesome One got hit with the Moneymaker. He retreated outside, leaving Miz out to fend for himself. And the stunt double took all the advantage he won, and then Miz leaped back into the ring and took all the spotlight, finishing it off with a skull-crushing finale. Just like I said my piece earlier on in the Survivor Series thing. I don't need to say anything else. Yeah. Before the match, I'm not even going to talk about it, but apparently Larry the Cable Guy was promoting his Jingle All the Way movie with Santino Marella. It was good to see Santino back, but no one gave a fuck about Larry the Cable Guy, and rightly so. Kane was in the concession stand serving food and doing his job. He served Larry the Cable Guy and Santino and then walked right into Ryback, and Ryback proceeded to rearrange the concession stand and look to rearrange Kane and chased him off. Things didn't work out for Kane, did they, that night? Now, the ultimatum for the US champion was to sing or to embrace or pledge allegiance to the American flag, which he didn't. Although he was about to leave, Daniel Bryan pops up on the Titantron and says, I'd have figured you would do this, so he sent out a little bit of help. The little help being Sergeant Slaughter. Although they're on the verge of doing it, I will admit, Lana was on the verge of doing it. The big man just got angry and looked to a jump and attack Sergeant Slaughter. That was until Jack Swagger came running out with Seb Coulter, and Swagger chased away Rusev, saving Sergeant Slaughter's rear end, so to speak. Rusev versus Jack Swagger for the US title, anyone? I think so. Plus, Mr. Sabaka's got a score to settle with Rusev. He's got a very score to settle with Rusev. Now, and again, a rematch from last night, from the previous night's Survivor Series. Fandango and Justin Gabriel again. Now, going back to what I said, again, Fandango won. Same thing as what happened at Survivor Series. I might get some stick for this, but this new and improved Fandango, I actually like it. Because, alright, it's a Latin character, the Latin lover, comes out with Rosa and all that. But he's not coming out portraying himself to be something out of Dancing with the Stars, or Strictly Come Dancing if you're UK. This is his own character, is his own gimmick, and I actually like this direction that they've went with him. Will it work out for him? I hope so, because Johnny Curtis, the guy who plays him, or the guy who's the man behind Fandango, is a great wrestler. There's no doubt. He can wrestle. I've always just said he's a great wrestler stuck in a bullshit gimmick. I like the way this is going, Fandango, and hopefully he can have a good run with this and have a good run with Rosa too. And credit the WWE for finally finding something for Rosa Mendes to do. Because I think she was on the list a couple of months ago of being fired, so to speak. Fuck off. She was on the list of being fired a couple of months ago. So will this work out for her? I hope so. Will this work out for Fandango? I hope so too. Time will tell though what booking or what direction the WWE booking will go. Big Show came out on Raw and tried to justify why he became the turncoat at Survivor Series and the reasons behind his heel turn and the reasons why he knocked out John Cena the way he did. After shocking the WWE Universe by turning traitor and knocking out his teammate John Cena at the Survivor Series, Big Show emerged to clear the air. He explained that he made a mistake in the heat of the moment and shared his opinion that the WWE Universe owed him a mulligan, whatever that means. But when the fans didn't reappreciate or buy what the Big Show was saying, the world's largest athlete lashed out in frustration. He called them cowards. He called out any cowards in the locker room to do something about it. That's when Eric Rowan came down. And Eric Rowan came down trying to go in the Big Show's face and basically punked him out. He basically said he didn't like bullies after taking off his sheep mask and said he didn't like bullies and then attacked the Big Show and chased him away. Big Show said he made a mistake and Big Show walked away very angry and looking all like, he was embarrassed. And in a way he was. So Big Show versus Eric Rowan at TLC. What would this benefit? Would this benefit Rowan? Me personally, I'd rather see Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper. Would this benefit Eric Rowan in the long run? A future match, a match with the Big Show at probably TLC, or feud with the Big Show. Yeah, it's a difficult one for me, that one. But hey, I would like to see it. And the last thing I expected for Eric Rowan was him to be a babyface. I never expected that. I never expected that at all. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, but what would Eric Rowan get out of this possible feud with the Big Show? Guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'd rather see Eric Rowan feud with Luke Harper myself. But like I said, it's shocking to me that Eric Rowan's even babyface. Probably the shocking part of it all. Now, I will talk about this one I will talk about this match unlike the earlier on in the Survivor Series review. Prior to the match with Brie Bella, AJ Lee insulted both Nikki and her opponent as she was extremely angry over being tricked out of the Divas Championship at Survivor Series. But when Nikki interfered, Brie was able to reign supreme. Despite the loss, AJ Lee made it clear that the Bella Twins ain't half the women she is. What does the future hold for AJ Lee? Will this feud carry on? Probably so, the Bella Twins versus AJ Lee, but it's interesting to see where this goes since all the rumours saying that AJ Lee is done with wrestling, done with WWE after Survivor Series, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous, this match. This was Tyson Kidd and Natalya versus Adam Rose and the Bunny. Now, let me just say this about Adam Rose and the Bunny. I am begging them to sort this out with, Adam Rose and the Bunny. Adam Rose turned on the Bunny, and usually that would be a heel turn. But then, on live events, he was playing a babyface still. It seems to me he's still playing the babyface despite the fact he's beating the hell out of the Bunny. This makes no sense. Is Adam Rose going to be a heel or not? I mean, this is just driving me crazy. The match was for me. You know, Larry the Cable Guy and Santino Marella were ringside during this match. Why, I don't know, but hey. I mean, the only good part about this match for me was the fact that Tyson Kidd got the victory. You know, Tyson Kidd got the victory, which works for me to a T. And speaking of Tyson Kidd, during the match, he got advantage and got control of the match and tagged in Natalya. Yeah, I think he was beating up the bunny. He tagged Natalya in, and instead of continuing where Tyson left off, basically, for tagging her in, Natalya's picking up the bunny, asking him if he's okay. And then, as that happens, Tyson Kidd tags back in. I don't know where the hell this is going. I mean, I love Natty to bits. She deserves 10 times better. Hell, she even deserves to be Divas Champion, in my opinion. This thing between her and Tyson Kidd is, I mean, is it a feud? Is it a marriage breakup? You know, what is it? But it's starting to annoy the hell out of me. I mean, it really is. I don't know what I mean, are you going to turn Natalya heel? I don't know. That's the best. That would probably be the best option. I mean, but at the end of the day, all of this is just driving me crazy. You've got Adam Rose and the Bunny and Tyson Kidd, who's probably more talented, like I've said many times, more talented than half the WWE roster, dare I say all. And Natalya, I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but please, WWE, sort it out quick, because it's driving me insane, and sometimes it's even difficult to watch. I ain't gonna lie. Now, we come to the main event with Dolph Ziggler, John Cena defeating Seth Rollins in the Cruiserweight division, i.e. J&J Security. And the match was okay. John Cena mocking Jamie Noble and all that, but J&J Security did okay in the match, but we all knew what the outcome was going to be, and they got the victory. Ziggler and Cena hit both J&J Security with a zigzag and an attitude adjustment on both of them at the same time to get the victory. While that was happening, Rollins was escaping with his tail between his legs, but that didn't last very long, because out of nowhere Daniel Bryan came back in and threw him back in the ring, and Rollins received a post-match super kick, and he fell right into an attitude adjustment by the leader of the C Nation. And then the familiar celebration was the yes, yes, yes chants, which was amazing. And that is the end of the Raw review, and I actually liked it. Raw. I actually thought it was a fun Raw, and I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Yes, there were some bullshit parts, but I liked it. Pretty decent. I don't like the fact that at the end the party was over and it was spoiled when they announced that the Raw anonymous GM was coming back tonight on Raw. Please say that's for one night only. And if it's on Smackdown, I ain't watching him on Smackdown. No chance. But yeah. And it also seems as well that it won't be Hornswoggle from what I've read. Apparently they're leaving Hornswoggle out of this anonymous GM storyline angle, whatever the heck you want to call it. But yeah, a fun, good Raw ended on a sour note when they announced the annoying Raw GM, anonymous GM, was returning. I just hope, like I said, for one night, and it better be good Raw tonight at least. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to a quick break and put on a promo, ad, or whatever, and after the break, I will be talking about the Young Bucks and Hanson's MMMBoppp. You want to know what that's about? You know what to do. Stay tuned. See you in a bit. If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out the Wrestling Matters podcast Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/WM podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 35 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now, done the Survivor Series, done the Raw predictions and Raw review and all that. Sorry, I'm losing my mind at the moment. I want to talk about something that I watched during the week before I get on to SmackDown's main points. I was watching House of Hardcore, episode number 2 and I believe number 7. Great shows. Number 7 was amazing as well. Check them out. Go and find them. They're on the website. They're on a website somewhere. Go and check them out. You will not be disappointed, especially if you watch House of Hardcore 7, which was just amazing. But what I wanted to pick out and talk about was the Young Bucks. Great tag team, members of the Bullet Club, absolutely superb tag team. But what made me want to talk about them in this particular way is their entrance music. Now, I don't know if they use this for the Bullet Club, but I talk about Martin Kirby, who has Dragster Dinter. If you haven't heard that song, then you must be living under a rock. If not, go and find it on YouTube. It's called Dragster Dinter, and he has that as his theme song. And then you've got Grado, who has a remix cover version of Madonna's Like a Prayer. I didn't think anything could top them two, but it did. Them two are not the worst ones. Young Bucks have the worst one. They have Hansen's MMMBoppp. Yes, you heard me correct, ladies and gentlemen. Hansen's MMMBoppp. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like I said before, if you would have told me 10 years ago, considering what they were like in the early 90s and that, with, the Metallicas, the Alice in Chains and whatnot, if you would have told me them three songs, MMMBoppp, Like a Prayer by Madonna, the cover version and that, or even Madonna's version, I don't know if Madonna's original version would have got over, or Dragster Dinter, if you would have told me them three would have got over 10 years ago, I'd have called you an idiot. I said, no way they would have got over in the end as an entrance music in wrestling. But they do. And before I did all this, I used to follow JJ Williams, Renegade Wrestling on YouTube, as well as Jeff Meacham. And they used to do shows, and they used to talk about how great it was when they went to a show, an indie wrestling show in their local, Los Angeles and that, in LA. And they used to come on and do their shows and that, and talk about how Hansen came out to MMMBoppp by, how the Young Bucks, came back out to Hansen's MMMBoppp, which was, and I used to sit there thinking, surely they don't and everything, but I saw House of Hardcore 2 and I saw House of Hardcore 7, and they fucking do, and I can understand what them two have been saying all these years, because it's fucking hilarious. It really is. And the thing is, they come out to it and they actually get into it, the song. I mean, on House of Hardcore 2, he's actually playing the guitar. They actually really get into it. That the fact that he used that as an entrance to sing it and shit like that. And it's fucking amazing. And it's fucking hilarious. Billy Johnson, someone who follows me on Twitter as well as Facebook, said, only the Young Bucks can make a Hansen song cool. And, to be fair, he's right. I mean, I never thought that would get over with wrestling. Wrestling fans today, considering what the entrance music was like back in the day. But hey, fair play to the Young Bucks. I mean, the Young Bucks probably one of the best one, if not the best tag teams on the planet. I mean, if you don't believe me, go and watch the House of Hardcore 7 match with the Hardy Boys, as well as their match on House of Hardcore 2 with Brian Kendrick and Paul London. Questionable tactics at the end, as far as respect and all that is concerned. But hey, forget about all that. Just watch the matches. They both steal the show. But I just wanted to talk about that with MMMBoppp. It's just fucking hilarious. It really is. Probably the worst entrance music you can have in wrestling. But hey, just because it's the worst entrance music doesn't mean to say it's funny. Because it is. Smackdown main points. The newly crowned WWE Tag Team Champions, The Miz and Sandow, kicked off Smackdown with Miz TV and their special guest, Big Show. Encouraged by The Miz, the Giant explained that he should never have joined Team Cena and expressed his outrage over superstars like Eric Rowan judging him. Before he could continue though, Daniel Bryan emerged and declared the show to be Daniel Bryan's Smackdown as he was running things for the evening. The former World Heavyweight Champion set up a series of matches that included Ryback versus Seth Rollins, an Intercontinental Championship match between Luke Harper and the former champion Dolph Ziggler, and because Rusev failed to say the Pledge of Allegiance on Raw, a 20-man Battle Royal for the United States Championship. Interesting to see. Speaking of that US title match, after Jack Swagger eliminated Tyson Kidd in the closing moments of SmackDown's Battle Royal for the US title the remaining three competitors were the Real American, Cesaro, and Rusev. While it looked like the Swiss Superman would dispose of the Russian title holder, Rusev was able to keep 1 foot off the ground and got back into the action. Then seconds after Swagger eliminated Cesaro, Rusev kicked him over the top rope for the victory to retain the United States Championship. Be interested to see what happens next for Rusev regarding the US title, claiming that while the Demons molded Dean Ambrose, he controlled the Demons. Bray Wyatt shared his goal of sending the lunatic fringe back where he belongs at WWE's TLC pay-per-view. I'll be damned if that match doesn't steal the show at the pay-per-view, the TLC pay-per-view. It's going to be insane. The New Day finally debuted. That's right, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E Langston. Now, like I said, I don't know where the hell this group's gonna go. I don't know what direction they would go. I don't know if don't get me wrong, they look a good team. They look a great team in fact, because they disposed. All right, they had Titus O'Neil, Heath Slater, and Curtis Axel to dispose, but they looked an awesome team. Now, I mean, the chemistry was there, teamwork was there, it was just beautiful to watch. However, my question is, where does this 3 fit? I mean, you've got Kofi Kingston, Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion, US Champion. You've got Biggie Langston, former Intercontinental Champion in his own right, as well as an NXT Champion. And you've got Xavier Woods, who was once Consequences Creed, Unconscious Creed in TNA, and I don't think it's been relevant at all. How can you make a tag team out of this? I mean, the only fitting tag team out of these 3 would be, or the tag team that would make sense would be Kofi Kingston and Biggie Langston, because they have the experience. I mean, okay, either one of them and Xavier Woods would fit also, because, you know, experience and little experience, so to speak. But it wouldn't make sense. Where would this fit? I mean, the only time these... I think the only thing that would make sense about these 3... Titus O'Neil, the New Day rather. What did I Titus O'Neil for? The only thing that would make sense about these 3, for me, is if they brought back the 6-man tag team titles. And I know they won't do that because it's not the 1980s or the 70s anymore. You know, it's not territory wrestling anymore. But, you know, I hope they succeed. I'm expecting them to be baby faces, but at the end of the day, WWE management or booking or creative have basically regurgitated the Ernest the Cat Miller gimmick, took away the karate side of it, and regurgitated on these 3. That's just my opinion on it. But I hope these 3 hit the success. It'd be interesting to see what happens on Raw tonight, because apparently these 3 will be on Raw from last week. Vignette. So it'd be just interesting to see where these 3 go as a team. But will it work? Who knows? In the height of SmackDown's Intercontinental Championship main event, Dolph Ziggler suffered a fierce assault from Luke Harper around the SmackDown announce table. Nevertheless, with the help of a thunderous kick, the resilient show-off had enough presence of mind to get back into the ring at the last second to overcome the title holder by a counter. While the finish allowed Harper to hold on to the Intercontinental Championship belt, when he tried to attack Ziggler with it, afterwards, he ended up with a post-match zigzag for his trouble. I think there'll be another match between these 2, methinks, for the Intercontinental Championship, question it, and I believe it'll be at the TLC pay-per-view. That's just my opinion on that. But, yeah, nobody wants to see a match win by a counter. We'll just have to wait and see on that, though. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back after this promo with the views and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Mainly one particular view that I have regarding the truth behind CM Punk leaving WWE. Stay tuned. Be sure to listen to the Wrestling Matters podcast each and every Monday, only on Mixcloud, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Podomatic, and SoundCloud. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans, we talk about Monday Night Raw, we shoot the breeze, we pipe bomb, and we tell it like it is. Tune in each and every Monday for the Wrestling Matters podcast, where wrestling matters. Welcome back to the final part of the Wrestling Matters podcast. I guess I'll talk about the CM Punk truth that came out. Finally, CM Punk was on Hulk Cabana's podcast. If you haven't heard it, go and find it. It's on YouTube. Go and look at it. Go and have a listen. We've all had a listen. Everybody who's a wrestling fan, at least. Yeah, the truth finally came out. The truth finally prevailed, so to speak. And CM Punk finally truth and put to bed all these rumours that he's probably been hearing for months about why he was released, why he walked out, what happened, so on and so on. Apparently, he had something in the back, like a lump, like one of them lumpy things. I know, because I've had them a few times myself. I don't know if I've ever had them in the back, and I've never wrestled with them. I mean, it's like a dying thing. It's one of them lumps things that you see comes out in like a little lump, kind of. I think it's a medical condition, something like a medical thing that you get. It's happened to all of us. I know it's happened to me a few times. I'll admit, I've had it done to me. I don't know if I've ever had it in the back, but hey. And apparently he went to the doctors or to the WWE crew, the doctors they have in WWE, and he said that it was nothing, the doctor. When he went for a second opinion or something, he turned around and said that could have killed him. And there was all this commotion about them walking out and everything, and he walked out because of Triple H. He was facing Triple H and bad booking. Basically, he walked out because he was done, and for healthy issues as well, mainly because of his health, mainly because of what happened, and then on his wedding day to AJ Lee, because he's married to AJ Lee, WWE served him with notice with termination papers, so to speak, saying that he's fired. Wow! I tell you what, WWE sure knows how to give you wedding presents. Oh yeah, he's been released now. He's been gone for a while. Oh yeah, we'll just give him we'll give him his matching papers, his pink slip or termination papers or whatever the heck they want to call it. We'll give him on his wedding day. I don't think CM Punk cared. Pretty low blow there, WWE, to give him the papers on his wedding day. You know, pretty kick up the low blow kind of thing. And then all this other stuff went down, and CM Punk sued WWE and sued them for what he wanted, but they wouldn't give him and what he wanted, and he eventually got it, and everything's. And now CM Punk says he's done with wrestling, and him and WWE will never do business again. Never say never. But hey, I'm always going to be a CM Punk fan, and I am always a CM Punk fan, and I always will be a CM Punk fan. I am a CM Punk guy, but. I'm just glad this is all out now in the open, and everybody knows the truth and everybody knows the reasons behind what happened. But I would say pretty low blow move to give him his termination papers or to terminate him on his wedding day. That was a pretty low blow move, but sorted out now, and hopefully now we can all move on. But hopefully in the near future we may see CM Punk. I'm hoping we'll see CM Punk back in the wrestling ring. But he seems to be done with wrestling, and hopefully he does something now that he enjoys. But like I said, I'll always be a CM Punk fan. In my opinion, though, I think the downfall for me, and this is just my opinion, the downfall for me as far as CM Punk and WWE's relationship was concerned was when he did that pipe bomb back, I believe, was it 2011? I mean, if you watch the DVD, CM Punk, basically WWE gave him permission to air his grievance, air his differences, and say, there you go. I don't know if they were expecting what they got, though, with WWE, but I still believe, not that they didn't deserve it, WWE didn't deserve it, but I still believe that, that was the downfall for WWE and CM Punk's relationship, or working relationship, if you will. That's just my opinion on that. Watched Teenage Boot Camp yesterday as well. Teenage Boot Camp, it was the penultimate week, and Grado got in the face of Al Snow. It's basically calling him a dickhead and whatnot. If you haven't seen it, go and find it. It'll be on YouTube, somewhere on Challenge TV channel, or hell, go to the Teenage YouTube page as well, because I'm pretty sure it'll be on there. The final three now involve Kaylee Ray and Rampage Brown, and I believe my pick to win will be Rampage Brown. Can't believe they didn't pick Dave Mastiff. Their loss is probably somebody else's game, because Mastiff's a beast, and you never know, you might get into TNA. But going back to Grado basically called them out and said he'd see him in January. Al Snow in January. Grado versus Al Snow. But my pick to win TNA's boot camp is Rampage Brown. That's just my opinion on that. And it's been a good season as well, TNA's British Boot Camp. As well, pretty good season. And yeah, I guess that's all I need to talk about as far as the views and opinions. They were the two main views that I wanted to talk about. At least two main things that I wanted to talk about, CM Punk being the main topic. Also, I guess I could bring this up. WrestleTalk TV came up with this. We're talking about, there was all this thing going on about Styles Clash being outlawed and everything, because apparently AJ Styles did the Styles Clash on Yoshi Tattoo and broke his neck. Now, if I hear this again about this Styles Clash being outlawed, I'm going to throw up. It shouldn't be outlawed. It's a mistake, okay? It's a mistake because, at the end of the day, all you've got to do is get into the position. I know this is rich coming from me because it was never taken a Styles Clash before, but it's not rocket science, people. He gets you up into like a power drive position. He puts his legs in front of your arms. You wrap your arms around his legs. You tilt your head back, which is up, and then you tilt it to the side. So when he drops you, you're landing on the side of your face. Unless you can land face first, which I pretty much doubt it, because then you'll break your nose. But then you'll be landing on the side of your face. What is so difficult about that? If you try and break out of it, and then he drops you wrongly and everything, drops you to a point when you've broken your neck, then I'm not having a go at this. We could debate about this all day, but shouldn't that be the opponent who's receiving its fault? Because all you got to do, unless you and him work on something before the match, matches are predetermined. When you talk about your match, unless you work something to a point where you counter the move. But if not, then just stay in the position, tilt your head to the side, and then you land it on your cheek, basically, and then take, it's not rocket science. I just can't understand. What the big deal is. At the end of the day, if you break your neck, it's an accident. It's not Styles' fault, for Pete's sake. Well, it shouldn't be Styles' fault. Unless there's something I'm not reading, or there's something I've missed out in them statements and that. It's just mind-boggling how you break your neck. Alright, we've seen awkward moments from that, but It just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. Apparently, a PCW wrestler who's now the PCW champion is on the radar of WWE. Is it who are top indie star Nation, Yuha Nation? I believe that's his name. If that's pronounced wrong, I apologise. Is on the radar of WWE. It seems that WWE are interested in signing this guy. He later impressed officials at the WWE Performance Center tryout. Other rumours said Nation was close to signing with WWE. There were lots of rumours coming out of this weekend's Preston wrestling show where he became the champion after defeating former WWE superstar Chris Masters for the championship. For what it's worth, talents headed to WWE usually drop their indie belts. Will this happen, But it seems that Yuha Nation is on the radar of WWE. But hey, I don't know if I've seen him wrestle. I've seen a few bits of PCW work on the YouTube page and that, but I guess we'll wait and see. TNA is apparently replacing Tenay. Wow. As noted, Josh Matthews is expected to replace Mike Tenay on TNA commentary when Impact Wrestling launches on Destination America in January. This move has been inspected internally for a while as Tenay lives in Las Vegas, and has to be flown to the events while Matthews is now working out of TNA headquarters in Nashville as noted. Tenay is expected to stay with the company in a different role. With their new TV deal, TNA has less money to work with and other cost cutting early on is expected. Oh, great. So big changes are being made with TNA, but it seems that it will be Josh Matthews and Taz at the announce booth, not Tenay anymore. So I'd love to know what Mike Tenay thinks about that, but hey, I guess we'll see. And with that being said, that is the end of the views and opinions here on this episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. One quick promotion, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in the Middlesbrough area, or you can get to the Middlesbrough area in the northeast of England, get yourself over to the Rainbow Centre December 20th, because EPW will be presenting a wrestling show, probably a Christmas show, or Christmas special, that involves TNA wrestling superstar Bram and former WWE superstar Mason Ryan. Tickets are £10. For information, go to epwwrestling.co.uk, EPW Wrestling 1 on Twitter, or EPW American Wrestling on Facebook. Get yourself in there, get yourself down there. It should be the perfect way to start your Christmas. EPW Wrestling, December 20th at the Rainbow Leisure Centre in Colby Newham in Middlesbrough. And you can also contact the Colby Newham Rainbow Leisure Centre as well for tickets, but that's up to you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of episode 35 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Until next time, episode 36, I will be having guests on. Wrestling Rambles' own James Powers, and Mike Rodriguez will be on the show next week, so you know it's going to be a good show with them two around, because we always have a laugh. But until then, my name is Anthony Walker. Peace out.